What's up guys, Jim here, back again with another video. In today's video I'm going to be showing you how to replace your front brake flexi hoses on your Ford Ranger model years from 2011 to 2020. Now this is also part of a current recall. The recall number is 19S12. I'm going to show you how to do it just in case you need to do it anyway. Enjoy the video guys. As you can see, the first step we need to do is remove the brake reservoir cap. And here's the new parts we're going to be fitting. There's two new brake hoses with the part numbers just in case you need them. They are handed, and also the copper banjo washers that we will need to replace as well. Okay, so now we need to remove both wheels, or just one side if you're doing one side. There are 19mm nuts, and you will also have a locking wheel nut. You need to remove those and get the wheel off. Right, now the wheel's off. Once we start on doing the brake pipe, we don't want the brake fluid to go everywhere because it will eat away at paintwork and stuff, so we need to get a brake pipe clamp. Try not to use mole grips if you can help it because it does damage pipes. And we're going to put it as high as possible on the flexi brake line. Once that clamps on and it's nice and tight, you need to get a tray or something underneath just in case there are some drips which you cannot avoid. And we're going to undo this banjo bolt here. It's a 13mm. Now once I've removed this bolt, you will see there's a copper washer each side of the pipe. One will be stuck to the caliper, may just need a little bit of persuading to get off, and obviously one on the other side as well. We'll need to replace these as they do crush, and if you don't replace them, you will have a leaky brake line. Right, now with that undone, if you follow the brake pipe up to halfway where it meets the strut, you will see it's attached by a little bracket and held in with this little like sprung metal washer type thing. Just grab a pair of pliers and that should pull straight out. Then the rest of the pipe should be loose. You can just pull it down and it should flop out of the way. Right, now the next step is a solid brake pipe that goes into the top of the flexi pipes, held in with a 10mm. We're going to crack it off so it's nice and loose, but then we're going to nip it back up slightly to avoid it leaking while we take the spring out of the top and get the new pipe ready. So at the minute we're just cracking it off and tightening it back up, and we'll move on to the next step. Okay, now we've nipped that pipe back up, the next step is to grab your pliers again and take out this sprung piece of metal retaining clip from the top of the brake flexi pipe. Just make sure that when we do go to fit these in again that they go in the correct way, otherwise they won't hold the brake pipe securely. Right, now we need to grab the new brake pipe. As I said, they are handed. You will need to work out which is which. For this side, this is this one. You can get the part number off there if you like. I'm going to fit the new pipe from the caliper side first, so we need to get our new copper washers and put them either side of the banjo, and then we're going to put the pipe up against the caliper. Now you'll notice as I hold the pipe here and put the banjo bolt in, there's a 90-degree like nib on the end of the pipe. That nib actually has a locating hole inside the caliper. You must make sure it sits in properly before doing it up, otherwise it won't sit square. Once that's in its finger tight, we're going to move up to the strut part and refit the pipe onto the strut properly again, refitting the spring retaining clips. Now the next part, we're going to have to undo the solid brake pipe again out of the top of the flexi with our 10mm, and then as quick as possible fit the pipe in at the top. This will avoid us losing a massive amount of brake fluid and it also making a mess everywhere. You will spill some, it is unavoidable. So nip that up to a reasonable tightness. You don't need to hang off it, just make sure it's nice and tight. And then we're going to fit the retaining piece of spring metal back at the top. Make sure it's all located correctly. I like to give the clips a little tap, usually with a hammer, although like you can see here the pliers will suffice, just to make sure that the clips fully located in, and obviously make sure that the brake pipe is not kinked or bent at all. Then moving on to the banjo bolt, we need to tighten that back up with our 13mm. Again, do it fairly tight, you don't need to hang off it though. Then grab some brake and clutch fluid cleaner and spray off any areas where you may have spilt fluid onto, because it will eat through any paintwork if you spilt it on paintwork.